So welcome students to this lecture number 6. In this lecture, as you can see, we will discuss stationary points. It is the last section of your module 1. So what are these stationary points? I am writing the definition here. So it is a point of differentiable function where the derivative of the function is 0. So in a way, you already know this point actually when you were calculating maxima and minima, but here you are seeing its definition in a formal way, and if you will show it on graph, suppose you are doing it for a function of one variable, because this function can be easily shown. So if the function is like this, it is going like this, then you can see that these points where the derivative is 0. Derivative 0 means slope is, if you will draw a tangent on a point, it will be horizontal. It is called slope 0 or derivative 0. If you will draw a tangent here, you will see that its slope is not 0. So these are all stationary points. These are stationary points, and here this, the variable here, you can say, suppose this is x1, this is, its value is x2, it is x3 here, and this is x4. And one more point is that you always show, means for notation purpose, you will asterisk, you will show here like this. So these will represent your stationary points. Asterisk you will put with that point, then it will tell you that it is a stationary point, and it will you will have no confusion. Now I come to the next thing, that if your function is here, it is like this, it is like this. So if you will draw a slope, or you can say draw a tangent, means on this part you will draw the tangent on this part of the curve, it will be like this, and on this part of the curve you will see this. Here also the slope you will find it will be 0. So according to definition, where the derivative of the function is 0, so if you will find derivative here, it will be 0, equal to 0. So this is also actually a stationary point, but it is a point of inflection or saddle point, it is called actually, and inflection point or saddle point. Or saddle point it is called. So all these examples of and these are points of maxima or minima. So points of maximum, minimum and inflection are called stationary points. Now we come to the next section of the lecture. It is the necessary and sufficient conditions for an extremum of a function. Extremum means whether it is minimum or maximum. So there is nothing to be being in confusion about that. In a way, we are interested in maxima or minima, and these conditions actually you already know, but in a formal way we are discussing it. And also here we are taking functions more than one variable also, means there can be 2 variables, 3 variables. So in a way these are new. So when I write here x, I am telling you this actually, it means that it is a set of our variables x1, x2, Suppose there are 3 variables, then x represents the set of this. Instead of writing the function like this, x1, x2, x3, x3, I can write it directly like this. And in the book you will see many times I have told you that a bold letter has been used for x to represent the set of this. So the condition is for to be an extremum. The conditions are, and here when I show you this is actually a stationary point on which the slope is 0. So you have to decide whether this point is minimum, maximum, or a saddle point. So for that the conditions are: first condition is fx is twice differentiable at x asterisk. Here function can be of 2 variables, 3 variables function, and also n variables function. So capital X has been used here. It means x1, x2, x3, x4, all variables functions should be differentiable with respect to all the variables at that stationary point that is in our focus. Number 2 condition is, this is your second condition. You are interested in this x asterisk point, and second condition is, if you will differentiate the function at this point, then it must be equal to 0. All the slope must be 0, as I told you already that it should be like this. So that this is the condition for that. Now the third condition. So this is your third condition. If H Hessian matrix of that function at that particular point is positive definite, then the function is minimum at that point, and if it is negative definite, then it is maximum at that point. So now you can now you can understand the importance of Hessian matrix, why we calculated that, and it was decided with the help of eigenvalues, that if they were positive, then the Hessian matrix was positive definite and it was convex actually. So now you can appreciate that it was, the function was like this. It was like this because we decided that it was convex. So you can say that it is minimum here, and for negative, if eigenvalues were negative, it means that the Hessian matrix was negative definite, and it was like this. So you will say that this point is maximum, and it does not say anything about when Hessian matrix is equal to 0. So that time you are undecided about that. You cannot decide whether it is maximum or minimum. It may be that it is a point like this, this point, neither maximum nor minimum. So now I come to the point necessary and sufficient conditions. As you already know that what is the meaning of necessary and sufficient conditions. Here these first two conditions are necessary conditions. It must be there, and it is sufficient. Third condition is sufficient. This condition is sufficient. These are necessary conditions, because if it is not equal to 0, for example here, if it is not equal to 0, then you cannot say after, then you cannot proceed ahead. Means all the question of finding its maximum and minimum does not make any sense. So it is necessary that and also you can understand that all the things you are doing here, differentiation you are doing here. So first condition must be there. The function is not differentiable at that point, so there is no question of going ahead, and second condition is necessary because if it is 0, and this condition is sufficient. These conditions are necessary. Then if this condition is like this, then function will be maximum and minimum, and it may be possible that if it is equal to 0, then it will not be minimum or maximum. That's why it is sufficient. Now I would like to take I mean to say, I want to start with some very simple examples, so that you can connect your whatever concepts you know already. You can connect those concepts with here, because here this Hessian matrix is coming into picture, and it will be creating kind of problem that is it some kind of new thing, variable or whatever it is. So I want to remove that confusion. For that, I will start with a very simple example. Example number 1. It's very basic example. You have to find extremum. Find extremum of the function fx is equal to x square. Extremum means minimum, maximum, or it may be possible that it may not have any extremum. So for solution, for the condition number 1, we go to condition number 1, whether this fx is twice differentiable. Yes, 2x and 2 you can decide. So condition 1 is fulfilled. Number 2 is differentiate the function. It means that it is the differentiation of functions. So for the condition 2, for condition 1 differentiable, number 2 condition, we will have to do this thing. First we will have to differentiate this function, or you can say that it is del fx over del x, because here we have only one variable x, so we can write it this way. So remove any confusion about this. It is actually differentiation, and in our case it will be df over dx, like this. So if you will differentiate it, you will get 2x, and now the condition applied, it is equal to 0. When it is equal to 0, so suppose it is at this point equal to 0, it is giving you the stationary point x is equal to 0. So you have got the stationary point at x is equal to 0. Slope is 0, but at this time you don't know whether it is maximum, minimum, or it is a saddle point. So you have to apply the third condition. You have to find the Hessian matrix of this point. So in our case, the only variable is x. I hope you understand this point. We have only one variable, so the dimension of our Hessian matrix will be 1 into 1. I am showing this step because I want to connect this thing to your earlier whatever concept you know already. So it will have one row and one column, and only one element will come. It will be this. And what h1 what is the meaning of this? Differentiate it like this, because here we have got only one variable, so you will have only one variable, or you can say that it is actually d2f over dx square. You can say this. So what you will do here, already you have got this value, and now differentiate it again, you will get d2f over dx square is equal to 2. So what do you learn here? Said Hessian matrix is nothing. Hessian matrix is nothing but it is the double differentiation of your function that you already do in your elementary classes. You have done all these things. When you find maximum, minima, you first find this thing, differentiate it, after then you double differentiate it. So here we call it Hessian matrix, because you will see that there will be many more variables in the function, and for that purpose you have to differentiate the function, double differentiate the function with respect to each variable. Then you will find the matrix there, because you will have many elements in that. So anyways, the concept that I want to tell you here, that Hessian matrix is nothing but it is the double differentiation. So now what comes, that here we have got what we have got, Hessian matrix this equal to 2, and it is positive. Its eigenvalue we don't need to find for a single element matrix, it is just positive here. Its eigenvalue is positive, you can say. You can directly decide here in case of only one element. If it is positive, then it is positive. So what it is saying, according to our condition 1, positive, it is your positive definite because it is positive. So it is minimum at x is equal to 0. So it is just a very simple example, and but you see that how what different language we are dealing with the problem. In our elementary classes we did the same problem, but here we are doing it in a different mathematical way. So it's very necessary to become aware of this new language in terms of Hessian matrix. Now we will do some other example 2, so that the need of Hessian matrix is clear to you. Example 2 is, I have taken a function. Now I am writing here this. It is a function of 2 variables. So you have to find the extremum. The same thing is here, and find the extremum of the function this. Find extremum. So what you will do for solution, you will apply the first condition. Function is differentiable. Double differentiable, yes, it is double differentiable. Number 2, you have to find this thing. So here actually it is different from the first example. Here we have got, or you can write it this way. It is a set of 2 variables actually now. So for this purpose you have to first differentiate it with respect to first variable, or also when you say differentiation, it means that you will differentiate it taking partial differentiation with respect to both the variables. So first you will get 2x1, and for the second you will get 2x2, and after then for the second condition you will make this like this, or write it in that way. These are 2 points actually, and make it equal to 0. So if you will do each with each, you will get 2 equations, each differentiations, and this will decide your stationary point. So your point is x1 is equal to 0 and x2 is equal to 0. Asterisk we put because now our point has become definite. We are calling it stationary point. Now third is that Hessian matrix we have to decide at this point. So for the Hessian matrix, what we do at this time, we have 2 variables. So the order of the matrix will be 2 into 2. So Hessian matrix will be like this, and H11 it will be like this, where H11 will be del 2 f over del x1 square. I am writing is directly, and H12 will be H12 will be this, and the same way H21 will be first differentiate it with respect to x1 and now differentiate it with respect to 2, and H22 will be double differentiate f with respect to x2. So when you will do these things, you will find that H11 will be, if you will double differentiate it this thing with respect to x1, then you will find 2, and H12 will be you have to differentiate. First you have to take this thing and differentiate with x1, then it will be 0 because it is constant. Then you will see that same way it will be also equal to 0 and this will be 2, and sorry for that, this will be 2. Now you put all these things in your Hessian matrix, you will find the Hessian matrix is to be 2 0 0 2. This is your Hessian matrix. Now find its eigenvalue. 2 minus lambda 0 0, 2 minus lambda determinant is equal to 0, 2 minus lambda square is equal to 0. Then it is saying that lambda is equal to 2 or you can say the positive and positive values. It means that your Hessian matrix is positive definite at these points, particular points. This is positive definite. What it tells, if it is positive definite, then the condition said that it is minimum at that point. So you can decide that at point x1 is equal to 0 and x2 is equal to 0, your function is minimum. And if you want to show it graphically, this kind of thing comes this way. Your function is shown here and your condition will come like this. Function will come like this. It will be vessel like, graph will be vessel like this way. So here you will find the minimum. So this way, when all these ideas are clear to you, I am ending this class here, and you can take help from your book also. The main theme of today's lecture was these conditions, and also I showed you that Hessian matrix is nothing but actually is the double differentiation of the function, and when functions are having more than one variable, then it is necessary to differentiate them like this. So there are many elements of that differentiation. That's why we have to put all these things in the form of a matrix. Matrix is nothing but a table actually, to make our things convenient to do. So and we put these differentiations into a table form, and it is called a matrix. So thank you very much students for this class.